I created a cartoon depicting our voyage for you. Did generative AI make it or did you? I had it prepared. That's what CEOs do, and I had it made. We simply have things done. We don't do anything. Therefore, this animation is quite amazing. The creation of modern computing, the IBM System 360, the Utah Teapot in 1975, ray tracing in 1979, and programmable shading in 1986 are some of the most significant events in the history of the computer industry. A fact, without programmable shading, which was first implemented on the Cray supercomputer, the majority of animated films that we watch today would not be feasible. Then, in 1993, Nvidia was established. The company was started by Chris Curtis and me. Every home and desk now has a personal computer thanks to the Windows PC, which completely changed the personal computer market in 1995. The majority of Nvidia's development up to that time was largely driven by our invention of the first programmable shading GPU in 2001. However, accelerated computing was operating in the background of everything we did, enabling you to tackle issues that are beyond the capabilities of standard computers. The first application we selected was computer graphics, and it was perhaps one of the smartest choices we have ever made because, during the 31 years that Nvidia has been in business, computer graphics has been incredibly computationally demanding. Additionally, the volume was extremely large since we used computer graphics for a non-mainstream use at the time, 3D graphics video games. We had a very high R&D budget because of the combination of a very complex computer problem and a very large volume, which propelled our business forward. We had our first encounter with artificial intelligence in 2012, Star Trek's first contact. In 2012, AlexNet made that initial contact. It was an important occasion. We noted that while AlexNet represented a remarkable advancement in computer vision, its fundamental component was a novel approach to software development. We now had a computer that, given input and example outputs, would determine what the program is in the middle of, rather than engineers receiving data, thinking what the outcome would be, and writing algorithms. It was a nice observation that we could solve a lot of problems that were previously unsolvable using this technique. In order to pursue it, we made all the necessary changes to our organization, including the processor, systems, software stack, and algorithms. The focus of Nvidia's fundamental research shifted to deep learning. We've unveiled the first deep learning machine we constructed, DGX-1, in 2016. I made the first DGX-1 delivery outside of our business. I developed it for Nvidia to create models for generative AI in graphics and other applications like robotics and self-driving automobiles. Elon contacted me when someone saw an example of DGX-1 and said, "Hey, I would love to have one of those for a startup company we're starting." I therefore gave the first one to OpenAI, a business that no one was aware of at the time. That was in 2016. The Transformer, which debuted in 2017, drastically changed contemporary deep learning and machine learning. We at SIGGRAPH launched RTX, the first interactive real-time ray tracing technology, in 2018. We refer to it as RTX. We renamed GTX, the name that everyone called our graphics cards, to RTX since it was such a significant deal. During your SIGGRAPH speech last year, you stated that one of the pivotal moments where computer graphics and artificial intelligence intersected was RTX, or Ray Tracing Extreme. Yes, exactly. Actually, though, that has been going on for some time. What made RTX so significant, then? In 2018, we enabled the acceleration of ray tracing using a parallel processor. Even so, we were ray tracing at 1080 resolution and at a rate of roughly 5 frames per second, depending on the number of rays we were tracing. Video games obviously require far more than that. Real-time graphics obviously require more than that. Rendering processes used to be rather slow for those viewing online, but this crowd is undoubtedly aware of what that signifies. It used to take a Cray supercomputer to render a few pixels when you were creating anything. To speed up that ray tracing, we now have RTX. Although it was real-time and interactive, it wasn't quick enough to qualify as a video game. We therefore recognized that we required a Significant boost, most likely a 20x or even 50x boost. The group created DLSS, which essentially produces a single pixel, while inferring numerous other pixels using artificial intelligence. In essence, we trained an AI that fills in the blanks for everything else based on what it observed. For less than $10, we can now generate completely path-traced simulations at 300 frames per second and 4K resolution. Get your Nvidia keychain as soon as possible. AI is enabling us to provide a huge discount just for the first 100 orders. Then 2018 arrived. As everyone is aware, the fastest-growing service in history, ChatGPT, launched in 2022. This will have an impact on almost every business, from robotics to scientific computing, which aims to improve weather prediction while using far less energy. Generative AI will revolutionize self-driving automobiles. From our recent conversations, it seems that you are hopeful that these generative AI technologies will become more accurate and manageable. We are all aware that hallucinations and poor quality outputs are problems. It's possible that people are using these tools and not receiving the precise results they're looking for. We'll talk about how they're consuming a lot of energy in the meantime. Why do you feel so hopeful about this? What, in your opinion, is setting us up for this generative AI to truly become that much more manageable and useful? ChatGPT's major innovation was reinforcement learning with human feedback, which allowed us to use people to help the AI fit with our fundamental values or with the tasks we want it to execute. Since then, more discoveries have been made. In order to prevent the AI from wandering off and pontificating about anything you ask it to, guardrailing forces it to concentrate its efforts or answer in a specific area. It exclusively concentrates on the tasks for which it has received training, is suited, and is extremely knowledgeable. Retrieval augmented generation, or data that has been incorporated so that humans can interpret its meaning, is the third innovation. The dataset has greater authority. It is not limited to the trained dataset. It may be, for instance, your entire body of work, including all of your papers and essays, and it could even be a chatbot that mimics you. Therefore, anything I've ever said or written could be vectorized and turned into a semantic database. An AI would first look through that vector library for relevant content before adding it to its generating process, and you believe that to be among the most crucial elements. We were able to do it with text thanks to these three combinations. We're now beginning to figure out how to accomplish that with images, which is pretty cool. Indeed, if you look at generative AI today, this is an Edify model that was developed by Nvidia. It is a multimodal text-to-2D foundation model, and we collaborated with Getty to train an AI model using their data set. This graphic is a text-to-2D conversion. Additionally, you made this slide yourself, correct? The slide was made for me personally. The following prompt may be used by someone who owns a brand. In this example, Coca-Cola. It might be an automobile, a high-end item, or anything else entirely. You create the image by using the prompt. This prompt is difficult to regulate though, and it might have hallucinations. It might produce it in a way that isn't precisely what you desire. It's incredibly difficult to refine this using words because they're so ambiguous. Therefore, it is challenging for us to control that image. We have developed a method that enables us to regulate and coordinate that with additional conditioning. Making another model, Edify 3D, one of our core models, is how you accomplish it. This AI Foundry is a place where we invite partners to collaborate with us. We develop a model for them using their data. We come up with the model. They provide the data, and we provide a model that they can use. Is it their information? It only makes use of their data. That's correct. This only makes use of all the data on Shutterstock that they are authorized to use for training. These days, we use a 3D prompt generator and install it somewhere where you may create material and data from a variety of various modalities. It might be materials, animation, artificial intelligence, or 3D. Get your Nvidia keychain quickly for less than $10. We're only offering the first 100 orders a huge discount.